Hello, and welcome to the African American Art and Culture Complex's Grants Program Information Session. We must begin with our ever important ancestral appreciation and land acknowledgement. We honor the gifts, resilience, and sacrifices of our Black ancestors, particularly those who toiled the land and built the institutions that established this country's wealth and freedom, despite never being compensated nor fully realizing their own sovereignty. We acknowledge this exploitation of not only labor, but of our humanity. And through this process, we are working to repair some of the harms done by public and private actors. Because of the work of our ancestors, we're here and will continue to invest in the descendants of their legacy. Ramaytush Ohlone Land Acknowledgement. The African American Art and Culture Complex acknowledges that we are on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. As the indigenous stewards of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place, as well as for all peoples who reside in their traditional territory. As guests, we recognize that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland. We wish to pay our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone community, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First People. Before we get started, please note that closed captioning is activated for this session. My name is Tracy Brown. My pronouns are she, her, and I work with the development and the programs team here at the African American Art and Culture Complex, also known as the AAACC. My visual description is that I am wearing a red blouse with transparent sleeves with little red polka dots. I am wearing sparkly silver earrings, and my dreadlocks are fashioned into a bun on the side of my head and accented with a red rose decoration. This information session will provide you with basic information about the two funding types of opportunities available under the Ubuntu Resource Program here at the AAACC. We have funds for building wellness through our quick grants, as well as a number of creative development cohorts. The Dreamkeeper Initiative is a citywide effort launched in 2021 which involves the reinvestment of $60 million annually into San Francisco's highly diverse Black communities. Now, the Dreamkeeper Initiative is part of Mayor London Breed's legendary and highly progressive roadmap for reforming public safety and addressing structural inequities in San Francisco. The AAACC is one of the awardees of this initiative, and the iteration of the Dreamkeeper Initiative at the AAACC is called the Ubuntu Resource Program. Now, Ubuntu is a Zulu word, often translated as I am because we are. By selecting this term, the leadership and the team at the AAACC affirms their belief in and dedication to communal growth and advancement. The Ubuntu Resource Program invests in Black artists, creatives, and community members in a couple of ways. Quick grants provide funds to engage self-affirming self-care activities, whether it's radical self-care in the form of massages, etc., or respite care for caregivers, or something like skills building. The creative development cohorts provide learning experiences as well as incubator opportunities and guidance on the development of artistic projects and growth and understanding of the formal funding development process. Now, there are a couple of eligibility requirements that vary depending on the grant that you are applying for, but there are some eligibility requirements that apply to each and every grant here at the AAACC. So first and foremost, individuals who are living or personally identify or define themselves as African, African-American, Afro-Cuban, essentially as a member of the Black community is eligible to apply for grants at the AAACC. Okay, so you must be a person who lives and personally identifies and defines yourself as a member of the Black community. Additionally, our grants are for individuals working as artists, creatives, creative entrepreneurs, cultural producers, and nonprofit arts organization staff. So a highly specialized, very specific population, but still broad in our approach to support. All individuals must be 18 years or older at the time of application deadline. And we also have an enterprising creative seniors program, and the applicants must be 60 years or older at the time of application deadline. Additionally, and this is very important, you must have no conflict of interest, either familial or financial, with the board, staff, or directors of the AAACC. You may apply to one of the funding areas. We have a $300 self-care, radical self-care quick grant. We have a $500 learning opportunity, okay? And then we have a $2,000 creative project opportunity. So if you're selected for funding, please note that the proposed activity that the funding will cover must be completed within 6 months of receiving funds, okay? And also know that quick grant applicants can apply to the creative development cohorts, right? So that's a very important distinction. You can apply for both a quick grant and participation in a creative development cohort. Just know that you may only, if you're applying for quick grants, you may only apply for one specific area. With regards to radical self-care, the AAACC believes in disrupting cycles of wellness disparity and is working hard to provide compensation and provide funds to engage in activities of self-defined radical self-care. So we want to support you in taking care of you so you can be the best you can be. Funds may be used for workshops, classes, childcare, respite care for caretakers, even decluttering, any number of things, okay? And funds may also be used for other programs and services that fall into the category of self-defined self-care, but that is definitely subject to organizational approval. Learning opportunities. For Learning Opportunities Quick Grant, it's a $500 grant, and you can use the funds for learning opportunities in a class or workshop, etc. The Creative Project Quick Grant is the largest quick grant, and that is up to $2,000. And funds from the Creative Project Quick Grant can be used to develop a project in any artistic medium. So again, Radical Self-Care Quick Grant is up to $300. Learning Opportunities Quick Grant is up to $500, and the Creative Project Quick Grant is up to $2,000. For the quick grants, a unique eligibility requirement for the quick grants is that you have to be a resident of the city and county of San Francisco. So we have some flexibility with other grants, but with the quick grants, you must be a San Francisco resident. With regards to the scoring criteria for the quick grant, when our panelists review the quick grant applications, they're going to score based on whether or not it appears that the benefits of the activity are clear to the applicant. That's worth 0 to 5 points. And also, they're going to score based on whether or not it appears the the applicant understands the significance of the activity that they are undertaking. And again, that's 0 to 5 points. Both questions are worth 0 to 5 points. This is a peek at the scoring rubric. So for ineligible projects, obviously, they get a score of 0. Incomplete project applications, rather, they get a score of 1. Needs work would get a score of 2. If the project that is proposed or the use of funds that is proposed is deemed sort of a good use of funds, that they've done a good job stating that the benefits of the activity are clear, or that they understand the activity, their understanding of the activity could be rated as good based on what they wrote about their project in the application, then you would get a 3. If it's deemed effective, you would get a 4, strong 5, etc. And so the maximum total that you would be able to earn in that category from each scorer, each reviewer, appears on the lower tier. So you can at most get a number 10 on the ranking system. You'll find the scoring rubric and criteria and other important information in the guidelines posted on the AAACC's programs page. One thing we want you to keep in mind about these quick grant funding areas, if you're selected for funding, again, you're going to need to complete your activity within 6 months of receiving the funds. And again, you can apply to creative development cohorts when you apply for a quick grant. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the creative development cohorts. We have 2 categories for the cohorts, enterprising creatives, and we also have the Black cannabis creatives and vendors, and this is a non-plant touching program, okay? So creative development cohort applicants may also apply for quick grants, but you cannot apply to both creative development cohorts, okay? So you're gonna want to choose the one that makes the most sense for you. Artists who are selected for participation in one of the creative development cohorts can receive up to $10,000 for their participation. You are eligible to apply to the creative development cohorts if you meet the following criteria, okay? So we've already talked about the fact that you need to be a person of the Black community. We talked about the age requirements, but we have some special requirements for the various cohorts. So for the cannabis cohort, you must reside in San Francisco. Okay, you must reside in the city and county of San Francisco. For the enterprising creatives cohort, you must reside in San Francisco, Contra Costa, or Alameda counties. Okay, so and we do ask for verifiable proof of your residency. You also must have performed or presented artistic work in a public context, including online or digital platforms. Thanks to the pandemic, we're doing many more virtual programs. So you must have performed or presented artistic work in a public context within the last 3 years. And also the project that you propose for the creative development course must be new work. So we know you have some things there brewing that you'd like to bring forth, and this is your opportunity to finally work on that project that you've been looking to bring to life. Applicants selected to participate in the 2022 creative development cohort are ineligible to apply in 2023. So if you were one of our grantees last year, you're not eligible to apply for the creative development cohorts this year. Also, our creative development cohorts are being run by some wonderfully dynamic presenters. So the first one I'll share with you about is Miss Helen Branham. She is a highly esteemed community and economic development professional, and small business management professional. She specializes in various things. The list that you see on the screen is just a few of them. She specializes in financial projections, technical assistance, and marketing strategies. And she does numerous things to help businesses start, grow, and thrive. And she has many, many years experience in this area. So we're very lucky to have her. She founded the Enterprising Women Business Training and Mentorship Program. And she also developed and led the nationally recognized and award-winning San Francisco Community Benefits Business Development Training Program. Additionally, she provided oversight in the distribution and management of a $500,000 worth of microgrants. So again, you have the opportunity to study with and work with and receive support from a true gem of a practitioner. Ms. Helen's 30-day boot camp is designed to encourage rapid review and reevaluation of artists' original vision for themselves as creatives. So artists are also being supported in building on their existing knowledge. We recognize that artists are coming into this program with their own body of knowledge, and we work to support artists in building on that existing foundation of knowledge. Our focus will be on clarifying and improving present ideas while creating actionable steps and planning for self-accountability. Also, Ms. Helen supports her participants in exploring the critical intersection between the arts and business. Additionally, some of the features of Ms. Helen's program are weekly master classes, one-on-one technical assistance, also marketing assistance, and so much more. We are also fortunate to have, for the first time this year, our Black Cannabis Creatives and Vendors cohort. And again, this is a non-plant touching cohort, but it is led by the Jeanette Wright. She is a native of San Francisco and a health promoter, as well as a community organizer and a social equity advocate. She has degrees in biotechnology and public health from prominent local universities. And she also has certificates in horticulture and business cannabis from Amsterdam. So you are working with someone who is highly qualified to help you bring forth your ideas related to this cohort. She is currently the Director of Community Outreach and Engagement for Bay Area Safe Alternatives, which is one of the longest continuous running dispensaries. So she knows of which she speaks. In the Black Cannabis Creatives and Vendors cohort, once again, non-plant touching, you learn about the history, the politics, science, etc. of cannabis, as well as its social impact. If you're an entrepreneur, the focus will be really information for those seeking equity licenses and ownership. If you're part of the sort of core group, you will get information on cannabis careers and in management, etc., as managers, etc. And then if you're at the entry level, for those who might be seeking entry level positions at dispensaries, you will be able to receive information that is pertinent to you, as well as those who hold or are looking to hold ancillary roles in utilizing their existing skills to transfer them to a cannabis business or working with cannabis brands. So you have an opportunity to really just grow your skill set and also establish yourself as a Black cannabis creative and a vendor through this program. We also have someone who is a familiar face to you, at least after the last 20 minutes. That's me, Tracy Brown. I have a master's in arts politics from NYU. I'm a San Francisco native as well. And I started out at the AAACC when I was 5 years old. It is the place where I received my first real exposure to the cultural arts. And it has been instrumental to my life ever since. I'm an independent curator and artivist, which is an artistic activist. I'm a photographer and public presenter and more. I lecture about visual culture and the tobacco industry's use of it in the targeting of the Black community. And I am fortunate enough to be able to say that I was able through my artivist activities to compel the world's largest purchasing body, the US government's General Services Administration, to remove a rubber black man shooting target from their catalog to ensure that it is not being distributed all over the world. So the cohort that I will be running is the Enterprising Creative Seniors cohort. And essentially, it's banking on or benefiting from the model of cohort-based learning, which is very, very empowering. This program will provide our senior participants, their elder artists, with the training and information and direct instruction and tools that they need to thrive in a modern creative industry. So the program focuses on, first and foremost, some healing modalities for seasoned creatives. We know that working in the Bay Area artistic landscape has not been easy, but there are a lot of people who have been steadfast in that work for long periods of time. We also will be tackling technology. So helping to demystify technology that, some people may feel a little less than comfortable with. I'll also work to share with you some grant seeking basics, some information about what it's like to look for grants in this contemporary time, as well as provide you with information about social media and how to manage it and make it manageable, as well as archiving your legacy. We know that our seasoned artists have some wonderful legacies. This collections of work that they've done that might be trapped in VHS tapes and Betamax tapes and cassettes, and it needs to be digitized, or you're trying to figure out how to organize all of those things. So that's something that you'll also be learning about in this cohort. So the goal is really to empower our more seasoned creatives to thrive in this tech-centric contemporary art world. And again, you must be 60 years or older at the time at the application deadline to be accepted into this program. And sessions will be held either in person, virtually, or hybrid. So any one of those three. The application review panelists will score the creative development cohort applications based on artistic merit, project readiness, with the value of your work samples, and the project significance. So we want, with regards to artistic merit, the panelists will want to understand the applicant's connection to the African-American community, and specifically the African-American community in San Francisco and the Bay Area, as well as get a clear understanding of at least some of their artistic achievements, skills, etc. And this information is worth up to 10 points. The project readiness aspect of the application gives you the opportunity to detail your work plans, timelines, and also a breakdown of how you plan to use grant funds. Don't get stressed out. It is not one of those super complicated budget projections. We just want to know what's your rough idea of how you would like to use the funds for this project and for the project that you'd like to do. You should also, detail how you're going to measure success, and that's worth a maximum of 10 points. Your work samples should be reflective of your history of artistic achievement and the quality of work. So this question is worth a maximum of 5 points, right? And we want you to have some really strong work samples. Also, project significance should state how your project will help your artistic career and why the project is important at this time. So this question is worth a maximum of 5 points. So pretty straightforward rubric. You can see what it looks like here, very similar to the other scoring rubric that we shared. This particular grant, the Creative Development, excuse me, Cohorts grant, is worth 30 points. It's on a 30-point ranking system, so you can get up to 30 points based on your application. Excuse me. You'll find the scoring criteria, rubric, and other important application information in the Creative Development Cohort Guidelines posted on the AAACC's program page. So speaking of the program page, you can find it at https://AAACC.org/programs. And the application opens on Monday, April 3rd, 2023. The deadline is Sunday, April 16th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at programsandservices@AAACC.org. Applicants are strongly encouraged to attend our Q&A information sessions on Thursday, April 6th, 2023 at 6 p.m. or Thursday, April 13th, 2023 at 11 a.m. We will be having a Q&A session. So feel free to ask any questions that you have. You can always email them in advance, but if you would like to just come and gain greater clarity, please feel free to do so. This is a glimpse in what you will see in our application pages. We, like many creative organizations, utilize Submittable for both the Quick Grant and the creative cohorts. So the image should be familiar to you. This is what you'll see in the application itself. Also, we want to point out that in the final portion of the application, which is completely electronic, I want to make sure that I stress this. The application is completely electronic. Do not print it out, fill it out by hand and mail it or drop it off at the AAACC. We will not accept applications that are not completed through the Submittable platform. In the final portion of the application, you'll be asked to complete a demographic survey. And the survey topics include things about race, ethnicity, employment, income awareness, et cetera, et cetera. We recognize that this portion of the application is extensive and in-depth. Your answers to demographic survey are anonymous, they are confidential, and will not affect the scoring of your application, okay? The collection of data is federally mandated and shared only with the funders of this program. A condition of the AAACC receiving this important funding and having the opportunity to distribute it in community is that we must collect this data. So the other thing that is important to note is that the final page of the application is where you'll agree to the terms associated with participation in the program. So all applicants need to accept and confirm that they understand that participants also have a responsibility while participating in the program. So their informational responsibilities, turning in certain forms, attendance responsibilities. And we wanted to make sure that at the application phase and every phase, you had a clear understanding of the, all applicants have a clear understanding of their responsibilities and their connection to their stipends, okay? Lastly, you will electronically sign and date your application in the online portal before submitting. So again, everything is electronic. The deadline to apply, as a reminder, a friendly reminder, is April 16th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Did I mention that the deadline is April 16th, 2023? I want to make sure that I mention that. Please be sure to submit as early as you can. Technology is a moody beast, and you do not want to run the risk of running into technical issues when you're doing your submission. So we want to make sure that your application process goes as smoothly as possible. So be sure to get your application in as early as possible. We are also offering limited opportunities to schedule the input of your application via phone for those who may have the necessity for that, whether it's because they are differently abled or because they are still growing in their utilization of technology, in their skill set of utilization of technology. We have limited opportunities for that as well. So you can find out about all of that on AAACC's grants programs website. So with that, we want to thank you for attending our info session or for watching our recording. And we invite you to email us at programsandservices@aacc.org. We look forward to receiving your application materials and to working with you in community. Have a great day.